Happy Friday, ladies and gentlemen. We're here to talk over the NBA. I know that we get a few requests for this every single day, so let's get into it.
Let's get it, man.
So they got contests up, obviously, which is important because we got 2 games today. Could be our last 2-game day of NBA of the year. I don't know for sure how they're going to schedule this moving forward, but we'll watch and see. Got that jackpot up in the 22 over $6,000, so let's get after it. Start with a question we've dealt with a few times. Jokic versus Kawhi. I don't know. I don't have a good opinion here. I'll pick this one last. I guess I'll go Jokic.
I'm going to go Jokic. I thought you'd be a little more convicted with it.
I like Kawhi too.
Yeah, for sure. It's tough because it's going against Kawhi, but give me Jokic here.
My thoughts here is Paul George, lo and behold, was terrible again last game. So I do think there's a chance he plays better today, and maybe Kawhi doesn't need to do as much.
Fair enough.
All right, Jason Tatum versus Kyle Lowry.
I know this has got to be tough for you because I know you love Lowry like at his price on pay sites, but now basically like at the same price, who you taking, Lowry or Tatum?
Oh, give me Tatum for the rebounds. It's going to be close off. All right, Jamal Murray versus Paul George. I just said I think, and I'm a Paul George critic, but I do think he plays well today. So I'm going to give me PG 13.
Give me PG also.
Seems like a good spot for him, right? Like they're up 3-1, no stress, no mess. Coming off a bad game where he was in foul trouble all day. And again, I never liked Paul George in the playoffs, but he's got my I like him today.
Yeah, I get it. I agree with your points.
All right, Kemba Walker versus Jalen Brown. I'm on Team Brown on this one. He's becoming a bigger and bigger fan of his throughout the series. He's playing well, assertive, taking it to the bucket, playing well defensively.
I'm a fan of Brown, but I like Kemba here, so I'm going to go with Kemba.
Siakam versus Van Vliet. This one's tough. On DK, it would be all Van Vliet, but because you get disincentivized for missed shots, and Van Vliet's missing a ton of them, and I think he's going to miss a ton of jumpers today. This is a tougher one. I don't know. I am not a Siakam guy right now, so I'm going to go Van Vliet, but I don't like it as much on this site due to the naked detriment of the missed shot.
I mean, Siakam's missing a ton of shots also, so it almost makes me like Van Vliet more. Siakam was like 4-19 last game, took more shots than Van Vliet, so I get your point, but I think it applies to both.
Oh, it clearly does. Neither of these guys is having an insane. Lowry's the one guy who shot the ball better as the series has progressed. But, and I'll give Van Vliet this. He's taking tough shots because that's all Boston is giving him, right? I know he's had a couple of open threes, but Boston is playing some excellent defense. So kudos to them. Marcus Smart's an elite defender, making life really difficult on him.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Speaking of Marcus Smart, there he is against OG Anunoby. Again, I like Anunoby's rebounding prowess today, but give me Marcus Smart. I just think he's a slightly better DFS play on your normal day.
Tough, but I'm with you.
All right, next one up, Lou Williams against Michael Porter Jr. And this one's all GPP upside for me in this one because I think these guys both have high ceilings. I've talked to a couple people who are trying to ride and die with Lemon Pepper Lou, saying that he's going to break out eventually. The thing with Lou Williams, that if you guys haven't been watching the Clippers really closely, for him to be good, you need the Clippers to play poorly early on and need offense. Because when they play well, they just don't need him in the fourth quarter. So I think you should ask yourself, how do you think he plays tonight? Or how do you think the Clippers play tonight?
Yeah, I think Lou's going to have a much bigger role in the Lakers, like when they get to the next round.
To quote the illustrious poet Snoop Dogg, for shizzle.
Yeah, for sure. He's going to be an X factor, I think. But well played, sir.
They're going to need him more against the Lakers. It's a better team, stiffer competition. With Dallas and the Nuggets, you get a little bit of like the sense the Clippers are kind of messing around a little bit, like trying to get all the kinks worked out to go up against the Lakers. That's going to be a bloodbath. I think Lakers-Clippers goes 7. I'm excited for it. We're going to be there soon. But in the meantime, we still have to break down Lou versus MPJ tonight. This is probably the one I have the least amount of interest in because I think both of these guys could outscore the other one by upwards of 30 points, depending on what happens tonight.
I'm with you. I feel like MPJ is more needed, so I'm going to go that route, but I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think what he said last game gets him out of the rotation, but I don't love it. So I'm with you, and I'll go MPJ as well, but I have a lot of reservations about this question.
Mm-hmm.
Thies versus Ibaka. On a points per minute basis, it would be easy Ibaka. The fact that Thies could easily play 15 more minutes than him today, give me Thies.
Yeah, it's tough, but I'm with you, man. Like, you want to go Ibaka here, but the minutes are much more of a sure thing for Thieves. So you got to go Thieves.
All right, Zubotch versus Harrell. Give me Zubotch.
Yeah, give me Zubotch too. Although I could see this being a game kind of like we saw in Game 2, where the Clippers bench, gets more run, where the Nuggets play well early. So I'm not as sold as you are, but I do lean here. Zubotch.
Look, I'm more sold on this one than a lot of other ones on here, but I think there's legitimate good questions on this slate. So it is a struggle for me personally on a couple of these. And while Zubotch will be closer to the top of my picks, I'm not sitting here with great confidence like, dude, I got to enter the 5-pick shootout today because I got to get all my Zubotch in there. I don't feel that way at all.
All right, for sure.
All right, Grant versus Marcus Morris Sr. Two guys that should get love on DK today because of the power forward position. Two guys will probably let you down on DK today because of who they are. I'm going to go Morris. Grant just doesn't do it for me personally.
Yeah, you're not a Grant guy. I'm going to go Grant. He can't possibly play as bad as he played last time. I mean, he could, so it's tough. But I'm going to go Grant. Don't really like it, though.
Yeah, it's weird because Morris has been making his shots lately, but has had a real rough go of it in the peripheral counting stats, whereas Grant, he ain't going to be much of a scorer. But, you could definitely see him getting some shots off today. All right, either way, let's keep going down the list. We got Paul Millsap versus Marc Gasol. Here's another one. This is like the ultimate X factor because Millsap has played worse and worse throughout this series to the point that he barely played last game. I don't know what his role is today, so this is a tough guess right here. Gasol for the rebounds again.
This is an appropriate matchup, though. It's tough, but it fits because both these guys seem dusted. I'm going to go Millsap, but again, I'm not going to be surprised if he only plays 11 minutes here.
All right, so you've mentioned how the Bucks will be making some offseason changes. I don't disagree with you in the slightest. What I'm seeing now is that we need to trade for CP3 and get Paul Millsap. So apparently we want to dust off the wheelchairs and go after all really old people.
Yeah.
Gotta love Twitter. All right, next up, Gary Harris versus Norman Powell. Two guys I like today, which is rare. I'm going to go Harris by an eyelash.
I'm going to go Harris also, but I recognize that if Powell plays the same amount of minutes at Harris, that he'll outscore him.
All right, Beverly versus Monty Morris. Give me Beverly. His minutes continue to be on the rise, whereas Morris, I don't know how much he'll play today with everything on the line.
Yeah, I'm with you. Give me Beverly. Although another one where Morris is the better offensive player, but you're just more certain about Beverly's run.
Yeah, Beverly's better with the counting stats. I definitely think Morris is more of your prototypical point guard as far as being able to distribute to his teammates, no question. Yeah. All right, JaMychal Green versus Robert Williams. Williams has really lost his run lately, and JaMychal Green is inconsistent. So this is another one where 5 points could do it for you. I'll take Williams because I at least know if he plays 8 minutes, he'll put up points while he's out there. JaMychal Green with the big fat 2 points last time is more typical of what he is.
Yeah, it's true. This is another really tough one. I'll just be opposite and go Green, but not a lot to love with either of those guys. That's for sure.
No, there is not. You are not wrong about that. All right, Landry Chamette versus Tory Craig. Give me Landry Chamette. Piggyback off a nice game 4.
Yeah, I mean, they're really going down and we're getting dirty today. But give me Chamette also.
I just think Denver plays a shallow rotation. Harris, Murray, Jokic are in there for darn near 40 minutes each. And then there's just not that many other minutes to go around for Tory Craig. Not saying Chamette plays a ton, but when they're out there, Chamette's a better points per minute guy.
Agreed. I mean, I struggle to see Craig playing much unless this game gets real out of hand, which I can also see.
Sure. Not a lot of guys score less points per minute than Tory Craig.
No, they do not. There are guys, but not a lot of them.
Right? He's not a bad real-life player. He plays solid defense. He knows his role. He doesn't force his way into the offense, but does not equate to good DFS points.
No, he probably should not be starting. The fact that he was starting on a team that was in the playoffs right now is a surprise.
Mason Plumley versus Grant Williams. Give me Plumley. Jokic, even though he's in better shape, still needs to be spelled for about 10 minutes. So I think Plumlee plays. Grant Williams may not see the floor today.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I mean, you just got to figure Boston's going to have the tightest rotation. I mean, Denver also, but you never know with Denver, so I'll go Plumlee. They like Plumlee a lot there.
Right. And Plumlee's a good points per minute player. He just lacks the minutes more than anything because he's supplanted behind the game's best big man. So I don't think Jokic could play for 48 minutes. So I think you need to get at least Plumlee 8 minutes on the court.
I'm with you.
Not a lot, but it's something. All right, guys, that's what we got for today. We will run through final thoughts on NFL tomorrow. Excited to break down NFL for you. Excited for our first NFL Sunday. Appreciate y'all watching. Get your money in at overlaydfs.com and have a great Friday.
Thanks, guys. Have a good weekend.